that ambiguity or that bad representation that parts of the industry have at the moment.
Yeah. So just to take it a bit further, so giving it a try to Trade Connectors, and I actually rocked up to the job site because it was literally around the corner, just to hear from a horse's mouth how everything went. So when I turned up, the job was 95% done. The tradesmen were finishing up the last thing, and I had an interview with the customer. I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Give us a full rundown how this process went," and he was like, "Lee, to be honest, one of the best experience I ever had."
Fantastic. Yeah.
And that's from horse's mouth.
Yeah.
And I stood around, I was watching for the last bits and bobs, and for me, it's attention to detail as well.
Yeah.
And the gentleman there was very much attention to detail on conduit, cabling,
Yeah.
everything was very nicely done. For me, that's where Amazon Energy really thrives because anyone can install it.
Mm.
For me, it's personally is more about
Attention to detail,
attention to
the
detail. Who's
quality work, and something that
yeah,
you're proud of. Yeah,
who's
exactly.
takes a pride of their work.
Mm.
Anyone can slap the job and walk
Yeah.
away. For us, when we're installing it, we want to make sure that hey, the customer was extremely happy.
Yeah.
The conduit, everything was nice, done very nicely,
Mm.
and the rubbish was taken away from the
Which is
job
such a
site.
small thing. And a lot of people unfortunately don't sort of do it. And these are all sort of things we can build into these workflows that are simple things that just has such a detrimental effect if you're not doing it. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and I clearly agree with you. And it's really positive to hear that sort of experience. But we want the trades and the retail. It's not an us versus them. Like we're working together as a team.
Yeah.
And what SolarCut has been building, it's that collaboration of good retails and good trades getting good solutions delivered, and good industry news. Like we're not getting the crap you're hearing on these scare campaigns in the news when these cowboy installs or cowboy and retailers is doing bad things. There's a lot of good we do as an industry.
100%. There's a lot of guys out there who actually proud of their work. Like this guy I met, he was really proud of his work, really explaining to customers, really, really patience with the customer. And I was really noticing how he was explaining. And last thing I see the rubbish, and I can see he's like, say to the customer right in front of me, he's like, yeah, we take everything away. So give us a 5 minutes, everything out of your house will be nice and tidy
Yeah,
as it was. And for
yeah,
me, that was like a wow,
yeah.
this is
But the attention to
relief.
details, those little things, and that's the thing. Like because we're onboarding a lot of the solar cutters network in this sort of initial sort of phase we're in. Like there's over 1,000 members on the solar cutter sort of platform. Plus, obviously, there's the Facebook group that's got thousands more. But we're getting a group of people that have care for their work. They have that attention to detail. They want to work with each other. They want to collaborate. They want to provide a good experience for the people they work with, and that's why that alignment is really there. That's why from the extension from sort of solar cutter sort of trade connector, it's sort of that good that it flows really well. Like we don't want cowboy installs and contractors. Like we don't want people slapping systems in that they're not proud of, that they're not compliant, that they don't have any pride or care for their work. That's not what we're about. Like we're building quality work with quality contractors with quality retailers. Like it's sort of simple as that.
Yep. And again, I'll definitely see the value of doing that. And I'm very much happy to say we'll be giving it more and more support as much as we can from our side. The other thing I want to hear is on the customer perspective. I know with Trade Connectors is doing between retailers and obviously the installers for matching them and quality control, whatever. I want to hear from your side for our listeners out there who's the end user and the homeowner, just a bit more elaborate on Trade Connectors, for example. What else values a homeowner can get? Is this something educational videos you're looking at doing more about solar batteries, or so whatever is for the end user?
For Trade Connector, it's more sort of a business to business situation. Like, and whilst we're connecting the right sort of people, like in terms of an educational perspective, that's probably more done on the solar cutters sort of side. So, as solar cutters, as a community group, as an association, sort of technically, as we sort of are. We'll only work with partners, I guess, we trust. People only sign up and support us in membership who actually care. They're investing their money because they care for the industry, they care for people, they want to do the right thing, they want to grow. So I guess finding the right people you can hear the right story from, I guess, is important, because you might have 4 or 5 different retailers lined up against the wall. They might all be telling you something different. So I guess what we try to do in solar cutters, and I guess the principles that our partners and retailers and all try to sort of follow, is it's the same sort of principles. We've got we've got the 10 Commandments, which we call the Cut of Commandments. But there's sort of things like acting with integrity and honesty, and always be on innovating and evolving, and things like the customer experience and treating people with respect and taking the most not so, well, yeah, going above and beyond, but like meeting sort of safety requirements and doing things in a safe manner. All these sort of principles that encouraging no one to cut corners, do high quality work, but with high quality manufacturers and services. And that's sort of the type of company that's associated with what we're doing with sort of solar cutters.
That's,
I don't know if I totally answered sort of your question, but yeah, there's so much information out there.
yeah.
AI is fantastic, and ChatGPT and all these sort of things, but there's so much crap. Like, and it's so much AI slop, as someone was sort of telling me sort of before. So you got to be careful who you listen to. The AI isn't
Yes.
always right. And
And
I think there's nothing beats a relationship and a conversation on the phone or face to face, and building that rapport with that retail, that business you're getting into this investment opportunity with. So I think the more care and the more effort they go to as a retailer to understand your needs, the more you know and you can believe and you can trust that you're going to get a good solution out of it.
100%. I got a very different perspective on AI. Look, love using the AI. We're implementing some AI, obviously, in Amazon Energy as well. But at the same time, AI is built on what we are feeding to the AI.
Yeah,
AI doesn't come as a full blown stuff from some alien and stuff. It's just what we are
yeah.
feeding, and that's what it's just sussing the stuff out.
And if you're feeding in misinformation or stuff that's incorrect or crap, it's going to come out the same way.
100%, because Kosa, not everyone is feeding a right
No.
information. It's like growing a baby. You can feed so much information
Hmm.
to the baby, and it's going to grow the way
Mm.
you're going to really feed
Yeah.
the food and the education around that. So for me, I got a very different perspective of AI. Again, we have a very certain element which I love about it,
Mm.
and at the same time, it's just people really rely on it, which I feel like it's taking in a very different direction. So I always
Mm.
go as a educational perspective from my side and saying, hey, it's good using it, but do you trust AI more than a educated, a friendly human?
And that's the thing. And would you use AI to raise your kids? Like all these sort of things, and you wouldn't. So like you can use the parts and hopefully to simplify some of the concepts you're learning, but you can't sort of replace knowledge and years of experience from people. And I guess, and that's again what Solar Cutters and Trade Connector is, and what you have been, I guess, in your career in the industries is people and relationships, and that is an intangible. Like it's hard to replicate.
Yeah. And for us, we got very core values in Amazon Energy: integrity, honesty, and being very transparent with the customer is what we all our employees on follow on.
Hmm.
For me, as you know, I've been working for multinational companies. I've seen what the processes are, how things work out. I want to make sure from my side I implement and improve what I've seen not been working previously. So I think you're pretty much following the same sort
Yeah,
of
like you're finding a need, you're trying to solve a problem and trying to make things better. Like we love this industry, but look, the trade connector side is not just a solar industry sort of thing. We're in a whole other industries, I was sort of saying earlier. But yeah, like there's a void there. Like I said, people aren't sort of doing it perfectly at the moment. So if we can sort of bridge some of that gap,
sure.
and create better solutions and better contractor relationships with retailers and things like that, like that's a good thing.
100%. And also for the listeners, because this podcast goes to anyone and everyone, to the installers, tradesmen, retailers such as Amazon Energy, or even end users listening is out there, what sort of message would you pass on to each of those individuals?
Well, I guess on the trade connector side, like yes, we're a software, we're a tech company, but we're real people. We're not just an IT company. We're not some hiding behind a screen. So you obviously got myself that's got the experience from um, being in solar energy in the industry since 2012, obviously running solar cutters in that community since 2017. Max, one of the other directors and founders, he was one of he founded and started Energy Matters, one of the four horsemen, as we sort of say.
Yeah.
His background has been in web development and IT and marketing and mathematics. So he's been the linchpin, I guess, of building the software and the technology and evolving. But he's had a lot of experience with other industries as well. he did some other sort of ventures with women's health, and he had a hemp farm and stuff in Byron Bay. So
Nice.
Max has got a lot of great experience, and like we're really happy to have him as part of the team, and Grant as well. So Grant's the third director and founder of this business, and Grant was one of the first employees at Gippsland Solar with Andy. Andy's based sort of right hand man and operational head, basically running that business till it transitioned into RACV Solar when it was acquired. So Grant was general manager of RACV effectively for over a decade as well. So you've got an operational head in Grant. You got Max with his IT and web development and marketing background, and you got me. That's I guess the conduit, I guess, of relationships and retailers and tradespeople with what we've sort of been doing with solar cutters. So it's a really good tripod, I guess, of people. And like I just want to stress again, like there's lots of software out there, not just in our field we're sort of try doing here, but out there in industry and for consumers to sort of to use and adopt. But the software is only good as the people behind it, and we're not just we are real people behind it, and we're always up for a conversation of why we're doing things like this. We're not sort of hiding behind anything. We want to learn, we want to get better, want to solve problems for people, and it's just really sort of important to harp on that it's not just technology. It's people running the technology and
Yep.
feeding the technology. So yeah, look, um, my details aren't private. Like you sort of find me through social media and
You're
through
too famous to be not private, Costa, and you're obviously a social human. I've seen obviously over the years. You'll love running your little shows out there as well. So talking about that, what's next for solar cutters or trade connectors? Any shows coming up for again listeners,
yeah.
installers,
So
tradesmen listening out there?
like I said, we're doing 15 road shows in this year. So we've got 9 more to do this year. So we're going Hobart, Ballarat, and Newcastle, our next 3 road shows, and then we'll do a few little breaks and then a few other ones. So there's 9 more of those events, but all leading into our largest event on the year, which being our awards night and our largest networking event, the night
Which is
before All Energy. So All Energy obviously being the biggest solar energy, renewable energy EV conference in Australia. There's 15 odd thousand people that go through the exhibition. We run our event, our awards night, the day before on the Tuesday. So just a couple of doors down to Melbourne Public, the same event we've had for the last few years. Next door to the exhibition centre, where the industry sort of get together. We celebrate some of our wins. We
yeah,
promote some sort of awards, but ultimately the real main purpose of it is connecting everyone, and obviously trade connector, and that's where the idea and the name sort of come from. We bring people together, we connect them, we build the relationships, we understand, and we sort of foster this sort of culture of support and growing and improvement together. So that's what Solar Cutters is sort of trying to do. So that'll be a big event, and we're already sort of counting down the days. It's a pretty big
yeah.
week. Like
That's
Jack sort of says like it's like Brownlow week, and it sort of is. And like I've always had we've always had the vision, I guess, to an extent. Like, well, maybe one day we could do it at Crown Palladium. Like, who knows how big this sort of get to? Like, um, but yeah, it's really something proud we sort of do. Like our events, it's always quality over quantity with us with the Solar Cutters Roadshow. So um, we're not going to appeal to everyone. Like we want people that are actually generally there to learn and to understand and to get better and to improve and want to be there. We don't want people to come in there just get their CBD points and sort of leave. That's part of it. Obviously, we want them to build these connections and relationships with the people within their areas, and I guess manufacturers and suppliers who are part of our solar cutter sort of network. So they're great, and we'll be getting yeah like people to those events. But the All Energy one, that's something that's really exciting. Our awards night, and if you are in town and are in Melbourne, make sure you come the day before.
100% check it out. It's fun. I've attended tons of solo cutters. It's a great fun. It's also for me personally, it's opportunity to reconnect with other business owners,
Yeah,
retailers, installers, just to really suss out, especially on interstate people. You know, Queensland and Perth, we
yeah,
don't really get to mingle around as much. And
yeah.
there's something they're doing over there which we're not really seeing in Victoria,
But that's it,
vice
yeah.
versa.
And it's attracting the right people. Like it's a ticketed event now, like all our events are. Like our Solid Cutters members, they get in for free, but other people are paying for a ticket. And it weeds out the riffraff and the freeloaders. It's people that are paying to be there because they want to be there. They want to connect with people like you. They want to
Yep.
see what others are doing. They want to hear who's the best people in their product category or their within the solar cutters network. And these are things that it's been really sort of successful. And we know so many strong relations have been formed off the solar cutters community, whether it's these in-person events or this on online platform perspective. So yeah, look, we're something we're really proud of. And again, like the trade connector aspect is another extension of that, just trying to sort of support and grow that that network and delivery of renewable energy systems, I guess, at the moment, but any solution that requires a licensed trade. And it's a lot of work that goes involved. But I'm going to say it again, like there's real people behind. There's real people behind solar cutters. There's the real people behind trade connector. We're not trying to hide behind that. And we want to sort of evolve and grow and support as best we can. And yeah, been doing this industry for a long time, like obviously sort of you, and there's a lot of great people we know, and there's great people where even before we started rolling the camera, like I was putting you in touch with a few people that I think could help your business, just because this is, I know who you are, I know you're aligned yourself with good companies and good people, and we all want to help each other, and that's what Solar Cutters is. We wanted to help each other, and that's the culture we're trying to build with Trade Connector as well.
100%. And to here as well, because I see that a lot of value adding to Amazon Energy, and of course vice versa in the business as well, to really find a healthy, transparent relationship with everyone is successful. At the end of the day, for us, the customer is very important. That's what obviously keeps everyone happy and healthy. So for me, I want to make sure that that is being ticked off, and obviously Trade Connector is definitely adding a huge value in that part of having a very seamless project being delivered for our
Yeah.
customers. So just to cover up on your Trade Connector side, and we move on to the sort of last stages of this podcast is, so you guys doing obviously solar and batteries and trade connectors,
Well, not just,
plumbing,
yeah, well, yeah,
or is it anything or everything comes to trades?
there's aircon installations happening, there's heat pumps, there's general electrical work, there's lighting upgrades, there's solar and battery. So this stuff already happening now, we speak. Yeah, and all across Australia. So there's jobs happening in every state. As you're aware, as you're got some opportunities in other states. There's trades that are verified, ready to work, wanting to work. So yeah, we're growing that aspect pretty quickly. And naturally, with the solar cutters connection, the focus initially has been a lot of solar and battery opportunities, but I guess with those opportunities, a lot of other, aircon and heat pump and EV chargers as well. Like, so just other ways we can try to provide revenue streams or work for contractors wanting it. And obviously, it doesn't cost them anything to do it. Doesn't cost them anything to sign. It doesn't cost them anything to take a job. So we're just trying to provide this as a service to the good trades, so that we can continue to connect them and do work for good retailers.
Yeah, and of course your national reach out, and for the listeners out there who doesn't really know, what sort of network of tradesmen you have across Australia?
Well, the platform's been live for a couple of months, even though it's been a 2-year build, but it's been 2 months sort of trading. Like at the moment now, like we're between, I think, 300 to 400 trades on the platform, give or take, approximately. So, which is a pretty good effort considering it's only been a couple of months. And then we're growing that every day. People are sort of signing up every day, trying to get access to the work, getting access to the platform and to the system. But yeah, like in 6 months' time, sort of we're doing this. I generally expect that number to be sort of double that, and I guess we'll be in such a great position. And as the work starts sort of to flow in and feeding in more work for these contractors, people can be using it at their sort of discretion. They can fill in gaps in their schedules. They can book out when they know they're in an area. They want to knock off a few jobs. So it's all in the control of the trade. And I guess from a retailer, it's not going to stop you guys selling jobs in areas you don't have capacity for in. So it allows you to sell. I've got a great few opportunities or leads in this area. I've never worked in there before, but that's fine. You reach out to Trade Connect, you reach out to our platform, we'll connect you with someone and deliver the job through the system for someone you wouldn't have access to before, because we're doing all that vetting, we're doing all that onboarding, we're verifying their work, we're making sure they're accountable, we're protecting the retailer, and so that a trade is actually going to complete a job.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, once again, we tested and trial it. So for me, as a business, it's taking away a huge headache from the business. Like a legwork we have to do. Again, we trust and love some of our tradesmen, but at the same time, we don't really have a time to be babysitting and managing
Yeah,
those guys. You know,
yeah,
we're saying guys, this is the stock. Make sure you come out of happy customer.
Mm,
So when we call them and say, Mr. Customer, how's everything? Are you happy with the installers? How was the install? Everything was tidy and everything was nicely done.
mm,
All right. Can we send you our invoice so you can get us paid? And hey, can I ask you for write some nice Google reviews on Amazon Energy, for example?
yeah.
That can only happen, Costa, as you know, if the 50% of the job once again is being done properly by the tradesman.
Yeah, but feeling them as part of your business, like they're an extension of your business. They're representing you, and like that's how we're trying to keep them accountable to
Yeah.
each other and to you. And that payment thing is sort of I'll mention it since you mentioned it. Like our platform offers payments, so you as a retailer, you can preset an amount for cash collection on the day. The tradesperson's either sending to the customer as a QR code or an SMS link or a tap to pay on our phone on our Trade Connector phone app. So you'd have to collect the cash from the customer. So the job's finished, Mr. Customer, you're happy with it. Okay, Amazon Energy want me to collect cash on their behalf. It goes straight into your bank account.
Yeah, that's something you can add
Here's
on. Yeah.
here's your cash. Your cash collection's done. So they're walking out. You don't have to make a call. They're happy. They've got a great system. It's been commissioned. It's working.
Yep.
And so all these things that we're learning as we're having this conversation with these businesses around the country, like how can we can deliver more business for you? What's sort of stopping you? And there's other things as well, like with facilitating inspections for some of the customers, especially in Victoria, like trying to get that process happening a bit faster. So again, cash collection can be paramount, and cash flow can be sort of a better process than it can be in Victoria, because sometimes as inspection can be 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I guess accessing a network of inspectors that can facilitate the quicker turnaround is only going to be a good thing for businesses. So we're doing a lot. We're evolving a lot. Like every month, there's a lot sort of new we're doing, because we're learning so much dealing with partners and retailers like yourselves. Because we're an extension of you as well. Like we're wanting to build a system that allows you to do what you're good at and sell systems to your customers, quality systems that suit their needs, and not getting caught up in the weeds, like getting us having to handle and manage that process for delivery for you. So that's what we're trying to build.
100%. And for the listeners out there, just like a message, if you want to pass on from your perspective, Costa, to homeowners listening this podcast who are sort of somewhat in fence of getting solar and battery install, what are the message you want to pass on to the homeowners?
The reality is there's no better time to buy solar than now. I don't know why people are waiting. There's so many great finance opportunities as well. Like
Yep.
if capital is disposable income isn't something that you've got access to, there's great finance providers that can give you something that's quite affordable, that still have really good sort of payback, whether that's loans or PPAs or however the finance sort of structure. That's always something to consider.
Yep.
And I guess a good retail provide you those options and understand your needs. Like if your budget's $2,000, but the system you require is a $10,000 investment, and you can't afford that. Okay, well, a good retailer is not going to give you a $2,000 system. A good retail will give you a $10,000 system, and hopefully structure it in a way, whether it's with finance or whatever else, to give you the system you require. So I guess from an end customer's perspective, you've got to be asking the right questions. You've got to understand why the system's been sized and why the products are being used, all these sort of key things to measure. It's not a one size fits all. Don't listen to anyone that sort of says that. You need to take the time to understand what the solution is going to provide you, what your payback's going to be, if it's properly sized to your needs now, but it's properly sized to your needs in 6 months and in 12 months. So these are all things that you're obviously doing. You sort of mentioned it before, but they're critical sort of things to mention. And a wise man once said, you buy cheap, you buy twice. And
My old man used to say this all the time. So you buy it once, cheaper, you're going to be buying it twice. That's very
yeah,
classic.
there's obviously there's higher quality products and there's lower quality products. And I guess work with trusted partners and people who've been around the industry, have seen the ins and outs of manufacturing facilities, have understand what's products have worked and what haven't worked for a long period of time in Australia. You're taking their advice. Like, don't listen to ChatGPT. Don't listen to
Please.
listen to the person who's selling you the system, understanding your needs as the customer. And I think that's the message I want to sort of get across. Get solar now. It's not going to. There's no better time to do it now. Okay, power price is always going to go up. Whether they're going to charge you they're going to manipulate the bill or give you a fixed charge, or what they're going to do. It's always going to increase. It's not going to get sort of cheaper. So let's work on a better way to manage that, manage your energy, understand when you're using your power. Like Lee was saying earlier, with getting interval data, working out, okay, if it's you're not home throughout the day, then putting in some smart home features or whatever it is to understand to run the loads when the solar power is generating. All these sort of things a cowboy retailer is not going to ask. And that's, I guess, a critical thing to understand and appreciate. And that's why you pay the price you do. You're paying for the solution you need. Like you don't like price is not the main reason you should be getting solar. You're getting solar for the solution it's going to provide for you and your household. So whatever that's going to cost, and then it's a separate discussion whether it's like we said with finance or an alternative sort of method. But don't just get solar for the sake of it to tick a box. With the rebate, you only get one chance to get the rebate. Don't stuff it up.
Yeah, and that's what, again, as Kosta touched on, unfortunately, the cowboy retailers or the salespeople not going to educate the customers around it. For them, it's a quick sale, move on, zero customer service. So that's where, when customers are paying a little bit extra, is where customers are paying for the peace of mind to the companies such as Amazon Energy, that if things goes wrong, and if, again having trade connectors in our side, making sure that the customers get sent out with a tradesman to fix their systems as well. That's where you can see an extra value. You're paying $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, because if you got a system for X amount price and cheaper than for us, for example, you're going to be paying X amount more and getting more frustrated, angry, and annoyed and pissed off because you rang the company and they never turn up. They're never answering the phone calls. Hey, thank you, Mr. Customer. You saved $1,500, but now you're going to be having a downtime with the system which is not working. You're frustrated. You're having internal fights. It's
Yeah.
just all those things which we make sure does not happen.
And you can see a lot. There's a lot of companies you can find their Google reviews, or there's bad stories and things you can hear about them. And like Lee said, if your system's down, not performing, who cares if it costs you $3,000 cheaper? It's not doing anything for you. And if you can't get anyone on the phone to rectify that, and look, Trade Connect in the middle of that relationship is another extra layer of protection for that. But you have to have a retailer that's going to take responsibility and accountability and be there for you. The retailer's not seeing it as a one-off transaction with you. It's a whole journey, and it's evolving. You're evolving with the retailer as your needs change, as you might get an EV car, like you're buying a Tesla or a BYD, like you might want to upgrade and get an EV charge, and all these sort of things. You have this continued conversation with the retailer as your situation change, and I guess it's really important to understand that money is nice, and a discount is always cheap, but it's not apples with apples with the service you're getting and with the products you're getting. And you want to make sure people aren't cutting corners. And that's, I guess, everything we're standing for, I guess, as a Solar Cutters community, as a Trade Connector platform, and Lee, as you guys as a retailer. And that's why that alignment is there. That's why we have got that working relationship, because you understand that. I guess it's really important that the quiet questions are asked to get those solutions that are the integrity about what you're doing.
100%. Because I always say to my sales team member, all my team members, and saying, if you're a customer, if you're selling to yourself, putting yourself in their shoes, what are the things you want to hear? Do you want to hear salesy stuff? You want to hear more honest, transparent, educational guy on the phone? Who you will buy from?
Yeah, and it's trust, like you say.
And
yeah.
again, if you put yourself in the shoes for 5 minutes, suss it out, sell yourself, and see what are the things you want to hear. And that's what I normally, being very, very focused on when we do run our weekly sales training. Put yourself in customers' shoes.
Yeah. And why would you sell your mother or your father, your grandmother, your grandfather?
Your family members.
Yeah. Why would you sell your family member?
Yeah.
And if you can, you want to be able to sort of sleep at night knowing that you give them something you want to put on your own house
100%.
or on a close family member's house.
For us at Amazon Energy, we want, again, a long working relationship with our end users, because we come up with a lot of product which can, again, be adding a value and adding more further saving to customers' homes. So we are currently working on new products, which I will do a separate video of introduction as a new product to the company, which, again, Trade Connectors will come in place to help us deliver those projects hopefully soon as well. So these are the things, if we have a right relationship, if we're done right by the customer to get go, we can call them and say, hey, John, this is Lee from Amazon Energy, we did the solar and battery for you. How's everything going? Now we're doing this,
Yeah.
which can help you this and this way. If John was happy with us, he will say, yeah, mate, come over, we'll have a chat.
Yeah, and but that proactive nature, and like as technology evolves, as yeah, if you can upgrade batteries or inverters or add EV chargers or smart home sort of things, and
100%.
and and that's why like it's the some of the less desirable retailers, I guess, or some of these cowboy installers. Like it's a one-off transaction. They install something, they run off. They don't want to talk to you again. When you call them, you're not going to hear anything from them. Whereas with someone like you, which is I guess which is what again that alignment again sort of stress that sort of point. You're there for them. You're growing with them. Like as circumstances change, like all the kids might move over the house, like the power the power bill the consumption might be sort of change, and then having that conversation with the retailer. What do we do now, Lee? What can we sort of do? Like we do things a different way. But yeah, you want to be having that relationship and that conversation on a long term, and that's I guess what the better retailers are trying to sort of foster, and being proactive and rectifying these issues and challenges, and just explaining some of these systems and some of these monitoring platforms and how they work, so that the consumer can get control and feel ownership of the system that they're running. Like some of the monitoring platforms are great. Like there's people that might be sort of obsessed as like us, like we're checking their platforms every day and like, oh, what am I generating now? Like oh, the wife's got the freaking washing machine on. But that's the thing. Like the technology is there. You can understand what you're using, understand your habits. And that's what we said again. You keep harping, but education is so important. Like it's understanding how much power certain things draw, how much power am I getting from the sun, what's the inverter, what's the battery capacity, all these sort of things. They're at our fingertips for tips for people wanting to learn, and that's what people like you can sort of do to understand and I guess improve the energy situation for any of your customers.
100%. Any final thoughts, Costa, to again all the listeners out there listening to this podcast?
Um, I got a question for you.
I love the questions.
So Amazon Energy, I love the name. Like I know it's not. I'm buying stuff from Amazon every day, but where did the name Amazon Energy come from?
So, very good question, Costa. For me, yes, of course, we have no affiliations with the billion-dollar
Unfortunately, yeah.
Amazon company in general. For me, the Amazon Energy name come from the Amazon jungle out in South America, which for me, in a personal perspective, it's the lungs of our whole planet. Obviously, a lot of people know this. Whatever we are, living on our breathing and whatever.
Yeah,
Amazon is actually basically filtration system for what we are living on a daily basis.
yeah,
All right.
okay.
So that's for me. It is the basic concept of coming down from Amazon Energy. And as you know, Amazon Energy got a lot of history in a way of tribunals, and a lot of our forefathers have actually somewhat evolved from Amazon Energy. And all of our medicines, herbals, whatever you name it,
Mm,
it somewhat is attached to Amazon Energy Jungle. They provide like all the medicines we are looking at it currently
mm.
in our way. So for me, if Amazon Energy is going down, it's going to be very hard for us to breathe on a daily basis. So that's where the whole concept
Yeah,
was
mm,
come across for Amazon Energy.
yeah,
And obviously, energy from Amazon is for us is clean, sustainable energy.
yeah. No, it makes sense. But yeah, I just one more thing I just want to sort of stress. I guess whether you're a consumer, a trader, a retailer, whoever's watching this podcast, I guess the critical thing to know is it's still okay to talk to people, to build relationship, to build rapport, to build that trust. We don't have to hide behind screens and hide behind computers. Um, Lee's come from my background a little bit, like in the B2B side before sort of Amazon, and like is we're always the type of people that want to do these conversations face to face, wanted to get in touch and build rapport with people. So I just think it must tell you something that these people that are going this effort to get to know you as a professional, as a consumer, understanding your needs and your requirements, whether it's Lee on a retailer side, understanding consumer demand, whether it's myself with the Solar Cutters Network or the Trade Connector platform, understanding you as a retailer, you as a trade, and understanding your problems with delivering jobs and the challenges you might face. It's real people learning and evolving and getting that feedback. So I think that's something that we don't want to lose as AI takes over. which I'm sure it will at some stage, but we'll see how quickly these things sort of happen. So yes, reach out to people. People want to help. The right people want to help. Our Solar Cutters community, the people that associate that, they always want to help each other. People like Lee, who we're partnered with and aligned with, there's always that willingness to help, even if there's no personal gain. We want everyone to get better, to be better people, to get better solutions installed, and live better lives. And we want to be there for each other as a community, as a society. So I just want to stress that there's a lot of bad things that happen in this world, and it's not life or death installing solar, but if we can sort of do things the right way and sort of support each other in a way and be there for each other as people, it'll only be good for us as a society and community.
100%. And one thing I want to add on here, because everyone pretty much know it's a very obvious thing. Renewable energy industry, of course, has helped save money and etc. For me personally, in Amazon Energy, we are doing something right for the environment, which sometimes it takes away from the industry. For me, I find it very frustrated because we are reducing carbon. When installing a solar and battery, it's a less reliance on the grid, which is coal, mining, and fracking, which is where the industries come from. So obviously we're helping a sustainable, cleaner environment by going renewable energy, which lasts for 25 to 30 years. So I really want people to, when they're looking at those systems, really have a think about that aspect. Yes, some people care about it, some don't. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to live on this earth. We can't just.
We're making our bet as a society,
100%,
as earthlings, as people in the world. Like,
unless the people out there taking us to the different planet, I don't think it's going to happen in my time, or I don't know, Kosta's time, or maybe in the next generations. We're going to have to live on this planet, and how respectful we are to this planet, to our Mother Earth, which everyone knows, is highly important.
absolutely, it's been fun.
It's fun. I really want to thank you, Kosta, for coming along. It's been fun to have you. Very educational in the same perspective as well. Once again, thank you for being here. And I really look forward to working with Trade Connectors and adding more values to the customers and to the communities. And once again, everyone who's listening out there, people who don't know Amazon Energy, we are a national company. We are a full home electrification as well as business electrification company. So solar, batteries, heat pump, and other products we're introducing. So we're not just here to provide solar and battery solutions. We provide a full home and business electrification solutions across Australia and soon probably different part of the world. So once again, thank you for joining us, Kosta.
Thanks, Lee.
And good to have you here.
We'll see you
Cheers.
soon. Thanks.
All right.
We smashed it. Was it recording?
Well, hopefully.
Let's go for a piss.
Yeah.
How long are we recording for? Say how long it was?